Hello there. Well, the current government, i.e. Labour, and indeed under Labour's leadership, it's been very quick to claim credit for increasing pensions. Yes. Boasting about the pay rise for pensioners. £470 a year. Us lucky, well off, fantastically paid pensioners are getting this year. Indeed. However, while this announcement for an increase in the state pension may appear to be positive on the surface, the reality is for many pensioners it's a bit more complex. In fact, when considering the cuts to the essential benefits like the winter fuel allowance, along rising costs of living, such as the energy bills, they're going up. Yes, we just got over winter, and when we think our bills are going to get cut down a bit because it's going to get nice and warm, there's a little bit of a price increase. The council tax. Now, I'm going to pay 5.6% more to the council this year than I did last year. And then of course we've got food inflation. And indeed many pensioners now will actually find themselves worse off this year. But don't worry, because meanwhile the very MPs who've enacted these policies are set to receive nearly £3,000 a year more. Now this is making the growing disparity between MPs and pensions even more glaring. Labour has proudly boasted pensioners will see an increase in state pension of £470 this year. And as I've already said, at face value, that seems like a positive development for those living on fixed incomes. However, the increase in state pension is going to go. It's going to be eaten up by the rising cost of living that pensioners are experiencing. We're not going to get the winter fuel allowance. It got stopped in 2024 and it's not going to get paid in 2025. And that's a critical blow to many pensioners. These are the pensioners who once relied on this benefit to help pay for the heating during the cold winter months. In 2024, the government cut the winter fuel allowance they had given to pensioners to help migrate the costs of living. The move came at a time when inflation was soaring, pushing up prices of essentials such as energy, food, and indeed the council tax. For many pensioners, the loss of this boost in their income is devastating. The £470 pay rise in the state pension made to be, or appear to be, somewhat significant increase. But when combined with all these rising bills and the removal of the winter fuel allowance for this year, pensioners are going to be worse off. Worse off. The cuts to the winter fuel allowance combined with other economic pressures have left many pensioners in a difficult position now. The energy prices remain high, with bills continuing to increase for pensioners who live on fixed incomes. In addition, many pensioners are facing a higher council tax, with local governments imposing increases to balance their budgets. As inflation continues to push up food price and everyday goods, pensioners are finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. While the state pension increase is a positive step, it doesn't simply keep pace with the rising cost of living. For example, energy bills have risen by hundreds of pounds for many pensioners. Council tax, the increases there have added even more to an already stretched budget. Food inflation has pushed up the cost of groceries, further eroding the value of a pension's fixed income. Therefore, despite the claims of a pay rise for pensioners, we'll find that their financial situation has not improved and may in fact be worsened. The reality is that basic living costs have risen far faster than pensions increase, and the loss of essential benefits have left many pensioners financially exposed. And at the same time, while pensioners are grappling with these challenges, the members of Parliament are set to receive nearly £3,000 pay rise in 2025. The Labour government, which has overseen this decision, has allowed MP salaries to rise by 2.8%, bringing their pay to £93,904 a year. £93,904 a year. An increase annually of £2,558, which basically translates to an additional £49 a week, which is significantly higher than than the financial struggles faced by pensioners. Disparity between financial well-being of MPs and the financial hardships experienced by pensioners is stark. The MP has a secure salary, generous benefits, pension provisions, while pensioners who spent 50 plus years contributing to society are being left to deal with the cuts to their essential benefits, rising living costs and insufficient pension increases. Now, I find it particularly hard to stomach when considering the winter fuel allowance was cut, which has hit the elderly hardest. And then we've got the MP effectively giving themselves nearly £3,000 a year more. Pensioners, many of whom have worked tirelessly throughout their lives, had been forced to cut back on essentials, and that's just to survive. The current policies under Labour demonstrating a troubling difference to the struggles faced by pensioners. The decision to cut key benefits such as winter fuel allowance, while MPs are rewarded with hefty pay rises, reflects a system that prioritises the comfort of the political elite over the well-being of older and indeed vulnerable citizens. Now, I understand why, and it's so easy to see that many pensioners feel neglected and undervalued by a system that seems to reward those in power while ignoring the needs of those who have contributed to this country for decades. And they're quite right. No one gives a toss. Don't think this government care. The previous one certainly didn't. This one, well, it's a different breed again. The Labour government recent claims of pensioner pay rises fails to take into account the broader economic reality for many pensioners. The cuts to the winter fuel allowance, combined with rising living costs, mean that pensioners will be worse off this year, despite the increase that's the state pension. And then, as we sit here, MPs who have allowed this situation to develop actually cheered last year when the winter fuel payment was cut, are set to receive nearly £3,000 more annually. Until this government addresses these disparities and ensures that pensioners are properly supported, rather than being used as a political talking point, many will continue to feel that their long years of hard work and contributions to society have been undervalued and forgotten. Now, the question I've got is, when will the government truly prioritise pensioners? The pensioners' welfare over the political interest? I think we all know the answer to that. In the meantime, take care. Bye now. Bye bye.